Thank you, Adam.
F
Got
and chat.
one.
Let's
Yes.
get an F and chat going.
But we didn't actually start the segment.
Doesn't
So,
matter.
There are the Fs.
It's the official start.
The Fs are now like the starting pistol shot. Like everyone's like, yeah, F.
Got my
Start your
F in.
engines.
Gross.
So everybody's been saying World War III every single time something happens. I
True.
remember a few years ago, it was what is it called? Israel did one of they call it mowing the lawn, when Israel fires a bunch of missiles and blows up a bunch of missile sites in Gaza.
Oh,
That's what they call
mowing
it?
the lawn.
They call it mowing the
seriously?
lawn.
Oh
Yep.
my
Whoa.
god.
It happens like every 2 years.
Jeez.
Cool.
But I remember that happening in like 2014 or something, and people are like, "Oh man, World War III because Iran's going to retaliate," and then nothing happens. And then then you have this recent thing where Iraq and Soleimani, and everyone's like, "Oh, World War III," and then nothing happens.
Yep.
But only a couple months later, like not even, we have this global pandemic, and while everyone's paying attention to themselves, a bunch of things have started happening around the world. So we've got some crazy conspiracies for you today.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
It's pretty intense, this stuff, though. I mean, it's not, some of it's not conspiracy. It's like, this stuff's actually happening
Yup.
now.
I'm a skeptic.
That's what is crazy to me, some of the stuff that's actually happened.
And so we've got a bunch of stories. When you zoom out of the smaller picture and you look at the whole world, it does kind of look like World War III is coming.
It really does.
Because there's like stuff happening in China, there's stuff happening in Iran, there's stuff happening in Venezuela. That's the lead story, right? Venezuela rammed a cruise ship, opened fire, sank. Trump's deploying the Navy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy. But we
This is
also,
nuts.
beyond that, we've got stories about 5G. Someone apparently torched a 5G tower. And then it turns out there's a woke movie called Cuck that got $0 at the box office.
Nothing. They made
Nobody
nothing.
went to see it.
I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have wanted to see it.
You didn't see
Who
it.
would want to see that?
It's true,
Nobody
I did
did.
not.
So
Nobody did.
Yeah.
before we get started, make sure you join the super chat. By giving a super chat, we will do our best to read as many comments as we can. But admittedly, lots of people are already putting in sending us super chats, so we'll read what we can. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. It really does help the show. And we're gonna, what else? Follow us. We got our names up above, and subscribe, notification, blah blah blah.
Yeah, man.
Follow us and
This story is
Spread it.
insane,
Ready?
man.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I swear.
I didn't believe it
Let me
either.
let me read the headline. Venezuelan Navy vessel sinks after opening fire on a cruise ship. Trump recently announced that yesterday, they announced Trump was deploying anti-drug naval vessels to Venezuelan waters. Or not to their waters, but near there.
Yeah.
That story came out before this story. This story's coming out now. But this incident happened on March 30th. So Trump knew that Venezuela attacked a cruise ship.
Okay, so this didn't happen like yesterday.
No, this
It
happened on the 30th.
4 days ago.
Yep.
4 days ago?
And
yeah,
then
I guess so.
yesterday, U.S. to deploy anti-drug Navy ships near Venezuela.
Oh,
War. It's not just
boy.
that, man.
Yeah. This is the move of war right
You wanna
here.
see the
They're
scariest
prepping
thing?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this freaked me out when you showed me
Check this out.
oh.
See all
snap.
these alerts?
What is happening?
This is, for the most part, the State Department issuing travel alerts for evacuations from countries all over the world. Now, of course, this could just be, COVID related, for sure. I want to make sure it's very clear as we move through all of these crazy stories and the crazy stuff I show you. I'm not here to draw any conclusions. It's really easy to pull up 50 stories and then be like, it all goes together. That's the problem with conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is stop focusing on one thing. I know a lot of people, they're journalists for, say, the Southeast Asia region.
Okay.
And they're like, oh man, all this stuff's happening. And you ask them about Central America, and they're like, oh, I don't know. Okay, well, what about Iran? Oh, I don't know. There's people who cover MENA, the Middle East and North Africa. They don't know anything about what's going on in China, a little bit.
Okay.
When you step back and look at all these things, you start to see, well, the world's in conflict for sure.
Yeah.
Does it really mean World War III? I don't know. But I will like to entertain some of the conspiracy theories that have been popping up as of late. So as you know, what was it, like January? We went after Soleimani in Iran.
Oh, yeah.
Was it January?
Yep.
Feels like forever ago.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even remember.
6.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it before January?
No, it was early January.
Man, I don't even remember.
I think it was January 2nd.
But then Iran, a civilian plane got blown up. All this crazy stuff's happening.
Oh,
And
yeah.
people were like,
That's
World War
right.
III. Now we have this. I'm going to walk through a bunch of stuff. We got South China Sea. We got travel advisories. We've got Iran. We've got Venezuela. Check out this story from the Washington Free Beacon. A Venezuelan Navy vessel opened fire on a German cruise ship but sank after it sustained severe damages while ramming the luxury liner on Monday morning. The RCGS Resolute A 123-meter-long cruise ship equipped with four polar expeditions was performing routine maintenance in international waters off the coast of Venezuela on Monday, according to a statement by Colombia Cruise Services, which manages the ship. Soon, a Venezuelan patrol boat approached, demanded the ship divert its course to a Venezuelan port. The patrol boat then opened fire on the Resolute and repeatedly rammed it. The Resolute has a reinforced hull built to survive in Arctic conditions and sustained only minor damages in the encounter. The same could not be said for its aggressor. That's very sad. Venezuela tried.
I'm like giggling over here because it's funny.
It is funny.
That's how pathetic.
That's what you get. Like
pathetic,
you're
dude.
ramming a boat. They're just a cruise ship. Like,
Isn't
come
that
on.
crazy that a cruise ship is better armored than the Venezuelan Navy?
Yes.
Kind of
But
telling.
you got to
It's pretty
understand,
crazy.
it's funny, right? It's actually scary. You know why?
No, I agree. It is scary.
No. You know, it's scary that it sank and their army is weak. Venezuela is desperate. Right now, you've got, apparently Trump contacted Saudi Arabia and Russia and said, shut down oil production because the oil prices are getting too low. Something I could be wrong. Fact check me on that one. But what I can tell you is there's an oil price war happening. And the prices are dropping dramatically. Like we just saw gas the other day for like $1.93. Remember that?
Yeah, but isn't there like the demand is gone? Like
Right.
Right. So yeah, I guess wouldn't that make sense that it's dropping because they're just trying to sell it?
And so
There's no one
Venezuela's
buying.
principal production is oil, and they struggle. So now they got nothing. Their money's worthless, and the only thing they really have, nobody wants.
Yep.
So what do? Piracy. Go rogue.
What were they going to get for their country from a cruise ship?
A couple months worth of food for the administration, for Maduro, for higher ups.
Maybe
If
captives.
If it's that
Yeah,
bad,
captives.
Man.
Yeah, dude. It's been getting bad.
Yeah.
And remember what I said? We were talking about this like a couple weeks ago. All it takes is for one of these countries to start getting desperate as resources start drying up. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to say, it's me or them. I choose me. Now, what I said before was like, I don't know where it would start. Maybe Vietnam, right? Maybe South China Sea. China will be like, our economy's taking a hit. Maybe it'll be Vietnam. Well, I don't know if it's what's this?
Does Venezuela...
China ship hits and sinks Vietnamese fishing boat in South China Sea and detains the crew.
Man, that's
What?
crazy.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
This happens a
Here's
lot.
the thing.
Does this happen often?
It happens. It does.
Yeah.
China's been trying to seize the South China Sea for a while.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah.
But this is April 3rd.
We talked about them lasing a
American,
flight,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like 2 months ago, and we were kind of like, yeah, it's crazy. It probably wasn't anything. Now we've got these new glasses that we're wearing. It's like
Take a look at this.
I don't think it was just them testing something. I feel like they were threatening. It's crazy. What is this?
Marines-
Marines will help make it clear that China can't expel America from the South China Sea.
Oh, boy.
Well, I know some Marines. My brother's
Me
one of
too.
them,
So is
and
mine.
they're serious, man.
Yep.
Those guys wouldn't mess with the Marines.
China lased a U.S. surveillance plane of some sort. They just sank a Vietnamese fishing boat. This conflict's been going on for a while. You add all this stuff together, Venezuela might be the spark and the powder keg.
Who do they have any allies? Who's Venezuela's allies?
I don't know.
Do they even have any? I mean,
But
is it kind of like
probably
floating on
probably
out
going
there
to
by
be
themselves?
Iran
I bet it's Russia.
and Russia.
Yeah.
But Russia just sent us stuff. You think they booby-trapped it all?
Maybe Trump has
Maybe.
been trying to repair relations with Russia for
Hasn't
a reason.
he, though? Yeah,
Right.
he has.
And now they've sent us a bunch of
Of
medical
aid.
supplies.
And it's
Yeah.
like people were trying to twist it in some way, but it's like, how? They gave us help.
Well, that's-
thank you.
that's-
Like, can you say that? It's like that attitude that those people have. What do you think Russia, when they see that, what do you think they think? They're like, oh, wow. They're knocking Trump, who said it's a good thing. We were trying to help, and they're like,
They're making fun of him.
they're making fun of us.
Propaganda.
They're saying that we're against them. It's kind of like, I don't know any Russians. I don't know what the atmosphere is between us right now. But it's like, all I know is that they're sending us help, and that's nice.
See, that's important context because I'm not trying to sit here and legitimately say we can confirm something like World War III or like major international conflict. I'm just saying, like I said, it's easy to pull up these stories, and if you forget to mention Russia sending us aid,
Right.
if you forget to mention that Trump has recently said, we're going to work with China to some certain degree,
Right.
then it sounds like things are getting worse. But I still think it's important to highlight stuff like this. If Venezuela, so apparently they were trying to ram this cruise ship to force it into Venezuelan waters. Now Venezuela is claiming that the ship had mercenaries on it.
How do they know that?
Yeah, they're not. They're making it up. They're
Right.
nuts. These are crazy people. Oil is worthless. They've resorted to piracy, and so
Man.
they saw a cruise ship. Hey man, a cruise ship is like a floating town.
It's true.
You know,
Yeah, you're
floating
right.
hotel. Tons of oil, tons of resources, worth a lot of money. What do they get from it? I don't know. What's a cruise ship cost? Hundreds of millions of dollars to build.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can hold it hostage, seize it, and then demand a ransom or something.
Yep.
They're getting desperate.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Now check this out. This is presumably unrelated. U.S. to deploy anti-drug Navy ships near Venezuela. The Associated Press reports Donald Trump announced Wednesday that Navy ships are being moved toward Venezuela as his administration beefs up counter-narcotics operations in the Caribbean following U.S. drug indictments against Nicolas Maduro. The announcement came at the start of the daily White House press briefing to discuss the coronavirus pandemic, which has left much of the country in lockdown. And we get all that stuff. We get all the coronavirus stuff.
Yeah.
Is this a cover? Or is it legit? Is Trump sending just a few little, blockade ships to prevent the smuggling of drugs?
Well, I mean, he put a $15 million bounty on his head.
Is that just an excuse because we're going to war?
I don't know.
Who do you
know,
trust?
It's like, I don't exactly. Where do you trust the information from so far away? You know, it's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not there.
But
Right.
it is fair to say, them going after Maduro for drugs when Venezuela no longer has access to valuable oil, or
Yeah.
I should say their valuable
Right.
oil isn't valuable anymore.
What else do they
Sell drugs.
What else can they create
Yup.
that has been smuggled up
so this-
for a long time?
It could be an inversion. Trump could be deploying this for legitimate drugs, because of the drug stuff.
Yeah.
And Maduro might be lashing out because they're about to lose their only other lucrative trade.
Yep, that's a good point.
So maybe it doesn't escalate beyond that. But there's a few other things. So let's move forward. Check this out. The State Department said, the Department of State urges Americans not to delay travel home. Transportation options may soon be unavailable. U.S. citizens should make plans to return home now. So we have this right here. Russia shut down and unexpectedly canceled Aeroflot Flight 102. The government of the Russian Federation ordered the immediate suspension of all international flights without warning until further notice.
Man, that's this is you showed me earlier. Like this is depressing, man. Like what's gonna happen? We're bringing all Americans back.
Yeah.
Like everybody needs to come back.
They're doing
now.
They're doing evacuations.
Yeah.
Like-
what does that mean? It's like whoa. It's like our
They-
citizens
so-
need to be here because you're probably gonna be not safe anywhere else.
Burma. The embassy has coordinated a repatriation flight scheduled to depart Yangon April 6th. It is scheduled to arrive at San Francisco 8:15 p.m. on April 6th. Please read alert for instructions. Look at this. There's tons of alerts. And they all say similar things. The U.S. government is working to organize flights for U.S. citizens in Cabo Verde. These flights are projected to take place the week of April 5th. They're evacuating.
Yeah.
The embassies are evacuating. Now, they are finding commercial flights as well.
The whole embassy's being emptied out.
Is that what's happening?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, I don't
you.
know.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't know.
okay. You said they're evacuating the embassies, and it's like, well, what does that entail?
I would say probably because you guys got to fact check me on this one because I didn't pull it up, but I'm pretty sure that the State Department allowed U.S. embassy workers and diplomatic personnel to evacuate China back in like January.
Oh, okay.
One of the first things they did. So I think it was someone from Fox, I don't remember who, said if they're telling U.S. government personnel to evacuate,
Yeah.
then American citizens, you need to get out now.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, of course, this is obviously coronavirus pandemic related.
Is it?
Is it though?
I thought they already went through this with the coronavirus.
Right, they
Like
did.
telling everybody to come home.
Yep.
Right.
They did.
So this is not the
What,
coronavirus.
what I'm saying is it's the simple solution. There's no other reason, like on the surface, it makes the most sense that they're instructing people to come back because flights are being canceled now.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean it's a guarantee that's exactly why they're doing
There
it.
is a lot of countries shutting their borders down.
Right.
And shutting
but that
airports
happened a while
down.
ago, a month ago or whatever.
It's progressively happening more and more.
I had a friend who was in a foreign country, got instructed to fly back immediately weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they're doing this now. You're right. Maybe it's because something else is on the horizon. I don't know. I mean, Venezuela going crazy is pretty scary.
Yeah.
But look, we can speculate and we can say, I think, my opinion is, I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
And the simple solution is just pandemic related. But check this out.
I hope so.
You ready for the full-blown conspiracy theory?
Oh,
yeah.
please
Let's do it.
lay it on me.
We've been facing war with China and Iran and some other countries for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
it's been bubbling up, and we've talked about this. Let's say the government knew war was inevitable, how would they? Okay, I've actually said this in the past year. If China, they could snap their fingers and cut us off, which means we can't go to war with them.
Yeah.
They would freeze all of our manufacturing and we would be left helpless, no medicine. So how does the government, the United States government, get all the manufacturing back, secure its borders, and bring all its citizens back in 1 month?
While also starting up all these factories creating medicines that are keeping like I don't
And
know,
medical supplies.
millions and millions of Americans alive.
Yeah.
No.
And the supplies.
Listen.
Oh man, like,
Making medical supplies,
it's crazy.
medicines, antibiotics,
All the
biotics.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
If you were going to go to war, what would you need to do?
You would need to have that stuff.
Bring your citizens back,
All those
kickstart
good
your
things.
manufacturing,
Yep.
Yep.
secure
Close your
your
borders.
borders.
Yep.
And what did we just do?
All those things.
In reverse order, we're doing it.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
He closed the borders. Now he has the ability to go. You're making medicine.
You're
You're
doing
making
this.
you're making medical supplies. You're doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guns are essential businesses. That was a Trump order.
Interesting.
Good. let's work on our essays.
Now, listen.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
You think I'm joking? No, I'm dead serious.
But to clarify, for those that don't know,
Oh, yeah.
New Jersey requires you to write an essay if you want to buy a weapon.
yeah.
So stupid.
Well, it's going to be pretty easy right now to
you don't
explain
need to. Listen,
why.
You don't need to, because when the war starts, they're gonna conscript you and be like, "Here's your gun, buddy.
Yeah,
Sweet.
There you go. Guard your home
That'll work.
for America."
I would.
So there's a few things
I'd step up.
that people have called out Trump, like the drug operations in Venezuela. They say it's a distraction from the pandemic. They say, like, why is Trump securing our borders and bringing people back? It's just more of his xenophobic nationalism. The argument from a lot of people has always been that the things Trump is doing doesn't specifically relate to the coronavirus. And so in that sense, the people who have criticized Trump's actions as though they don't matter,
Yeah.
they would be making the argument that it is not a simple solution, that these things are related to the coronavirus.
And you kind of made a point earlier about these media people that are good with specific areas. I know this section of the world. I know this section of the world. Well, there's people that don't even worry about sections of the world. They worry about a person,
Right.
And they're not even looking over here at this part of the world. So they don't see the full picture. Clearly they don't, because they're so like polarized on what he's doing. And it's like, it doesn't matter. That's why it doesn't matter what he says, because they don't even see what the big picture is. They're just like, oh, he said something. We can get a bunch of clicks.
Let's light this one up.
Yeah.
The next story. Trump claims Iran or its proxies are planning a sneak attack, warns of a heavy price. Now, I look at this story, I say, what else is new?
Or its
Right.
proxies.
What else is new? This stuff happens all the time, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But here's my favorite. World War III fears. Domino effect error could spark major U.S.-Iran conflict in Middle East. Now, well, I shouldn't say it's my favorite. There's another story I want to point out that I think is better. But it's just, we're looking, if you look at one moment, people might say, we see these things all the time.
Right.
You look at Venezuela, we see these things all the time. What happens when you zoom out? Do they happen all at the same time when the U.S. is evacuating its citizens around the world, securing its borders, and bringing manufacturing back?
While a worldwide pandemic is happening.
Yep.
It's like,
and even
put it
Canada
all together.
and
Yeah.
Europe, and people are fighting over resources.
Yep.
So at the very least, here's what I could say. Maybe there's, I was speculating and getting a bit conspiratorial, as if this is all a part of a plot to, build up America's defenses before a war starts. The reality is the pandemic is happening. Everyone's being affected by it.
Right.
And it will likely be a contributing factor to a major escalation.
Definitely.
Look, Trudeau of Canada was complaining that Trump just seized all these masks, saying you can't ship them out. They're America's now. So 3M was going to send masks to Canada. Trump was like, nope. Defense Production Act, boom, they're ours. And Trudeau was like, whoa, we need these things. And the
Make
U.S.
'em.
Yep.
That's what we're learning.
But what happens next? Canada doesn't have the resources. They start freaking out.
Yep.
Other countries don't have resources. They freak out. And when someone's backed in a corner and look, man, if someone's starving, I'll tell you what, they're not going to sit there on their knees begging you for bread. They're going to take it.
I mean, they are our allies. So it's
It's America Junior.
America's hat.
Yeah.
Canada? Yeah.
whatever. Okay. Well, still, it's like we were so angry at China for turning those boats around with the masks that were coming to us. So how can we be upset with China for doing that if we're doing the same thing to Canada? I'm dead serious.
We're not
Yeah.
upset.
Sure. People are upset.
No.
Trudeau's upset.
Oh, no. Trudeau's upset.
Right.
But this just says to me that, we got angry. We're like, oh, no, they took our masks. So
Right.
Trump orders everyone to come back.
Right.
And now we're closer than ever to war.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's my favorite. April 3rd, 2020, South China Sea. Beijing poised to give Europe a sobering lesson amid hostile standoff.
Who said that?
So this is Chinese. Let's just read it. Chinese military actions in the South China Sea are partly aimed at securing economic dominance, as the region is a key area for shipping of goods for countries around the world. But President Xi Jinping has also overseen investments in Europe, which have mostly flown under the radar. In 2019, the Financial Times reported how China's invested in Trieste on the northern Adriatic Sea and Genoa, Italy's biggest seaport, adding to a growing network of seaports.
Great.
Well, here you
So
go.
what, they're going to shut them down?
The Financial Times article states how this growing presence in Europe should provide a sobering lesson for Europe. This is because while China's trade can bring opportunities, its actions in the South China Sea prove it isn't always the friendliest partner. So right now, it's not just about the trade routes and the conflict, the lasering of our planes. Why is the FBI going around arresting collaborators of China?
Why aren't they?
They are.
Oh, they are.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's recent,
Numerous
right?
professors there's an investigation going on from the FBI targeting these professors, and not just them, other people.
Mm-hmm.
And they found that numerous professors were taking cash from China and did not disclose it. In fact, one of them, I think, lied to the feds and said I wasn't getting paid.
Oh, man.
They were setting up their own labs in China, working at our universities.
Whoa.
The feds are arresting them.
Good.
As part of that same investigation, those documents got leaked, I guess, and Yahoo published this, that the U.S. has intercepted on more than one occasion Chinese researchers illicitly transporting viruses.
That's who they were bringing them to.
Yes.
They're American paid
Potentially.
professors.
They said it
Yeah.
was part of the same investigation.
Dang.
This is all legit. It's all happening.
Wow.
So perhaps this espionage has been going on for a long time. Maybe it's just coming out now. But I'll tell you what, it feels like the volcano is bubbling up and it's getting really close to breaking the surface. And,
Yeah, it's smoking.
and eventually, someone's going to get desperate. Maybe Venezuela already did. Maybe
They
Trump
clearly
sent-
are. Yeah, they're desperate. They're ramming ships and losing their own ships, but it's like they're clearly desperate. They're lashing out.
Maybe that's the spark. Trump sends these ships down.
Mm-hmm.
Then some other countries are like, yo, what are you doing? Going after Maduro. Some other countries are like, we can't let you do this. Trump
Yeah,
says,
but
F you.
Has anyone said that? Is anyone coming to Venezuela's aid? I don't see it. I feel
I
like
don't know.
we would have heard something. You know?
So Venezuela's three biggest allies are China, Iran, and Russia.
You looked
Wow,
it up.
what a surprise!
I did look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
see some comments saying that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it was true or not.
You ready to
but-
ride that nuclear
Yeah,
gravity bomb
man.
down like a cowboy on a bull?
Oh man.
Yeehaw, baby. World War III.
I don't know, man. It's
I
crazy.
mean, my more conspiratorial-minded friends are freaking out.
I don't blame them.
Saying, get out, time to go to the country. I got a bunch of emails being like, you don't understand, it's time to get out of the city. Because we're in the nuclear era, man. You know what? You might have restraint from many of these countries for now. And then eventually when they realize they're losing, mutually assured destruction means nothing.
Well, I think San Diego is probably the biggest area that would be hit first, right? It's our biggest port.
San Pedro, right?
I
So
thought San Diego was
I
our
don't-
biggest port on the West Coast.
I don't know if it's San Diego, but I know the San Pedro port, which is basically LA.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like south of Los Angeles, San Pedro. I think it's San Pedro. I used to drive past it all the time.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. But
I mean, we're on the East Coast, so like, what would,
New York?
like NORAD's
Or-
over here,
yeah.
isn't it? So it's
Yeah.
like,
Dude, listen. One multiple independently targeted reentry vehicle with 10 warheads on it could wipe out the eastern seaboard.
yeah, you're right.
Like the major cities, just. So I'm not saying, I don't know. I don't want to get that crazy.
I feel like I have more. I just believe in the American military because they've been getting so much money over the past years.
Yeah, but
It's like-
bureaucracy,
True.
government sluggishness.
Yeah, but don't you think that they have? I mean, we talked about it. They got to have stuff we don't know about.
Totally. Absolutely. Like the Manhattan Project, we
there's-
didn't know until they dropped those bombs.
Yeah, and then it was like, whoa, that's a huge bomb. Like, what just happened? It's like, oh yeah, by the way, we've been working on that with scientists. It's
This
like,
is what scares me about World War III.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have said MAD, mutually assured destruction, guarantees we wouldn't see that kind of conflict, right?
yeah,
If let's say we go to war and it's Russia and China,
okay,
and then we storm the beaches of Hong Kong, greeted as liberators, and we charge in and we're sweeping through the land, and Xi Jinping is getting cornered in his room. It's not going to be like Hitler in Nazi Germany where he put a bullet in his head or whatever.
Oh, he's not
no,
gonna
he's
take
gonna hit
pill.
the button.
He's going to be like,
Yep.
"You're going down with me." Wham.
Yep.
nuke.
Yep.
Yep. Nukes, plural.
And then you're going to be
Yeah.
sitting in Philly, and you're going to be like, looking up, what is that? And then you're going to see a shock and a flash, and then you're blind.
Yep.
And then a few seconds later, you're going to go, woof, and then
And you're going to be a shadow on the wall.
you're going to be a shadow on a wall, man. That's, maybe they'll get that crazy. Maybe they'll be that angry. I refuse to go down. I'll take you with me. I don't know.
They are an honor culture.
Well, that does seem fairly extreme.
We can rewind everything all the way back to where we are right now and get away from all that speculation and to just say one thing. This is the craziest it's ever been in my life.
I agree. This is insane.
And so if there was
This is
ever
crazy.
a time to speculate as to the end being nigh,
Yeah.
would certainly be now. You know what really scared me?
What?
I was thinking about something earlier. I didn't realize how much Donald Trump's words actually affected me.
Really?
Over the past couple of weeks, I was feeling like, this is boring, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Everything felt fine.
Because Trump was telling
Trump
everyone
kept saying,
exactly
we're going to
that.
reopen things,
Yep.
it's not a big deal. When Trump came out and said, this is going to be the roughest couple of weeks our nation has ever faced.
I mean, he said today though that it's bad, but we're gonna get through this. It was kind of like it felt like a couple weeks ago, not like the past few days where he's like, this is gonna get bad.
But
it's
that-
gonna get
but-
really bad.
I didn't realize that, I guess like subconsciously, when you look to the president
Yeah.
and he acts like he doesn't care, it really does affect you.
It does.
true.
Like you're
Yeah.
like, if he doesn't care, why should I?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's normal for how people react in positions where you're looking to the leader who's in charge of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what they say in like when they're teaching people to be leaders, display calm and optimism, and the people will feel good and their morale will be better. When Trump came out and said it's getting bad, all of a sudden, I'm looking at the news and I'm like, oh man,
It was
all
like the
dads,
chink in the armor.
Yeah.
You saw through the facade a little bit.
like
Not that it was a facade, but just like you could see that he was starting to feel the pressure himself.
yeah.
And it showed. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So there was a guy paddleboarding by himself.
Yeah, I saw that.
He got arrested. They told us you can go outside and go for walks and go exercise. And they said it was no big deal. Governor Murphy in New Jersey was like, go outside, go for a walk, do your thing, just don't gather in groups. A woman was in Florida walking around walking around downtown. Cops
Okay.
arrested her.
By herself?
Now she's got an ankle monitor.
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand that though.
They're worried she could be infected.
She had-
she had thought she had she said she had symptoms.
Okay.
And she was walking around by herself, Facebook living. People called the cops. The cops came, arrested her.
By
ankle
herself?
bracelet.
What is the deal there? That doesn't
Right.
make any sense.
She had taken a test and
She
it had
clearly was doing social distancing to the
Right.
max.
Yeah,
she was
for
by
sure.
herself.
Here's where it
in
gets
the middle
weird.
of nowhere. I mean, the city, but who's in the city walking around?
This-
was
here-
there
here-
other people? Do you know?
No, there was no. Well, she did go. She went to a retail store or something and like walked around.
A retail store was open.
I guess, or maybe she was like looking in the window. I don't know.
Okay.
The paddleboarding guy.
That's crazy to me.
Two lifeguard boats or whatever cruise up and our Coast Guard I think, and then he goes to the shore and they arrest him. They walk him out.
That's nuts.
He was in the ocean by himself.
exercising.
Some woman gave a quote where she said she was worried the virus was getting in the water and then being kicked up into the air. And I'm like, that's insane, dude.
How is that?
Where are these large quantity of viruses all across the ocean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Like if
Could it even survive in that kind of an environment? Do you know this?
Yeah, so marine animals eat a lot of them.
A lot of
viruses?
viruses.
Yeah, they eat a lot of viruses.
But think
Okay.
about that.
And they
No,
survive
hold
yeah,
on.
and they save us from a lot of them actually.
Think about that vast open space in the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, I could imagine there may be some virus somewhere, but the idea that it's all up in the air and he's swimming through it, so they have to arrest him.
Just because the waves are like hitting the rocks and splashing.
There were no
into
rocks.
The air.
It was the beach.
I know, but there's rocks along the whole coastline, though. I'm
This-
sure
where he
there's still a
was-
mist in the air in the morning.
Right.
When you. along
I'm
the whole
wondering, is there
California.
another reason why the Coast Guard was clearing out the water for one person?
That's a really good question.
What do you think that they're watching out into the ocean for?
I don't know.
Not the
Submarines?
virus.
I've never.
Yeah, something other than a
Yeah,
virus.
that was my first
Do you know?
thought.
Do you know about that guy who got fired from the captain of that aircraft carrier who got fired?
I don't know much about it.
Theodore. What was his name?
Crozier?
Crozier.
He was worried that the virus was in the ship and was
Yeah.
asking help. Or
And he asked for
something?
help.
Okay.
He got relieved because they said that the letter getting leaked will make our enemies think that our military is weak or weakened,
Okay.
and so they replaced him. Loose lips sink ships.
That's fair though.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
it
it's
do-
also
it is
scary
fair.
right now when Venezuela is ramming cruise liners and opening fire.
But did he?
Our
leak
Navy's.
it? Did he like?
I don't know.
You know,
That's
it's
not
like-
the point. The point
the fact
is
that he put it in writing at all
it doesn't matter.
Is that why?
I don't know. The point is the military just fired a captain of a ship scared that the enemies think we're weak right now.
Yeah.
Why? It's the most pressing thing for the American military right now, that one ship, the military looks weak.
Yep.
Is there a concern that we will be attacked for some reason?
If maybe they're thinking if we do look weak, that's more.
they'll
It's
attack.
raising the chance that we're going to get attacked.
Maybe.
Right? But does any American think in their, like, is any one of you at home right now thinking like, well, it's just a matter of time until America gets attacked? It's not even a part of our daily. No one thinks at any point anyone is going to go after an aircraft carrier. But the U.S. military just relieved a guy saying loose lips sink ships, worried that he made our military look weak. Why? Is there a concern we might be attacked by an opportunistic foreign adversary who's looking for a chance to strike?
It certainly feels like it.
Oh, yeah, man.
It does.
And that brings me to the next portion of this segment, the conflict with our own allies.
Yeah.
And what that leads us to. And I don't know about that. But I will say, if Canada is in dire straits, and look, Canada and Russia are right next to each other. People often don't look at the map and think about what the North Pole is. We live in a globe, man. It's a sphere, right? We got the picture right here, the little globe on the planet. Canada's right there. It's a hop, skip, and a jump to Russia.
Yep.
What happens if Canada's, running out of resources? We have no choice but to help them.
Okay.
We're going to start seeing factions forming, strong. I mean, obviously, there's already the BRICS nations. There's NATO. Canada's like, they're angry at us, but eventually they're going to need supplies. Venezuela clearly does. They're going to ask for help. This is how the factions start forming. And then, thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify. And we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.